Sparks Weekly fans? It is DJ Treacy Treese, and we are here live at the Galen Center for the Sparks versus the Phoenix Mercury. I'm here with my two co-hosts, Fredo, Michael.
Hey, Michael here, man. It's going to be so much fun here in the Galen Center. So different vibes, but the team has been playing great basketball. They're looking for their fifth straight victory.
Wow.
Fifth straight. So it's going to be big time. What's up, Fredo?
Hey, you know what? I'll bet everything I got right now in my pocket that they're going to win tonight because multiple players for the Phoenix Mercury will be out tonight, which is nothing too new because, they've been in the bottom of the league. Sucks for them. But hopefully the Sparks can just actually win this game because it's very important for the playoff run.
Yep. One thing that the coach talked about was with those two players out, the Phoenix Mercury play faster, so the pace of the game is a lot faster. There's a lot more things that are happening. So I think the Sparks do have to tweak their plan a little bit. It might not be as easy as we thought.
Yeah. It's going to be very interesting because you never want to take a team for granted. But the Sparks know, hey, we got this 8th seed. We want to try to move up as far as we can, so every victory matters. So it's going to be big time. We were able to listen in to Coach and see what Coach had to say before tonight's game.
Certainly consistency. I think we're at 6 games in a row with the same starting lineup after 15 different starting lineups. So that starts it. Roles are defined. We have consistency. They're getting used to playing with each other and people's tendencies. And then just the film sessions, Allie, you can really see the growth. Early in the year, there was a lot of conversations about what we weren't doing and how we needed to be better and a lot of teaching points that way. Now the film's turned into a lot of reinforcement of what we're doing well and showing them what this big growth is. We had a couple big goals against Vegas and what they like to do against some aggression, and we talked about taking it away, and right away in the first quarter we took a couple of the plays away that we showed them that we potentially could. So to see their excitement of execution, to see their excitement and belief on this system really works. We invest a ton of time in film. There's no one that's more film crazy than I am. And so the monotony of film every day is part of playing in this time for us with the Sparks. But just love our aggression, love that we're dictating and disrupting and making some of the offenses do what we hope that they do.
I just heard you talking to Nikki about the next 5 games over 9 days and how imperative it is right now. What's the key to sustaining what you guys are experiencing right now, success-wise?
He's staying true to who we are. The focus of our scouting reports, the focus of what our defensive keys are going into the game, offensive keys, and then can we go out and execute it. Easy to lose some focus. All of a sudden you hear BG and DT aren't on the trip, and all of a sudden you're like, is there a letdown? Is there a letdown coming off of Vegas? It's human. And trying to keep them focused that, no, it's our effort, it's our energy, it's our focus, it's our intensity on both ends of the ball. We have to come out. We know without those guys, they're 2 of the legends ever to play in this league, but without them, there's some clear strengths that now Phoenix plays with. They can play faster. Transition's a big key tonight. They can, they're going to be in attack mode. They can pressure 94 feet. They can switch a lot more. So, as any time in this league, when an injury or someone sits out, it just opens the door for others and creates different strengths. And clearly, I believe that Phoenix has now different strengths than if BG and DT were here, but things that concern us.
Layshia has averaged 18 points per game in her last 3. Anything else that you see that you like that you've seen over the last week or so?
Love the aggressiveness. She brings us a toughness. Again, asked her the other night to really hunt for her own offense, and right after we reminded her to keep hunting for her own offense, she makes a big transition 3. off the dribble, and had big 3-point plays, just got pieces of the paint for us all night. So we talk about her toughness and physicality at the defensive end, but Lay's aggressiveness off the bounce, on the offensive end of the floor has been a key for us also.
Hey, Coach.
Hello.
DJ Infanity TV. In terms of field goal percentages, we've seen the team improve over time. Is there something specific with your strategy tonight that's going to continue to set that trend?
Yeah, it's not where we still want it to be, but it's certainly rising, and it's all about shot selection. Again, I say this till I'm blue in the face in this league. A lot of people can make open shots in this league. That's why they're the greatest players in the world. But very special people make contested, difficult shots. And so the more you can execute to open shots, the more you can turn down some difficult contested shots, the better you're going to be. When Phoenix had success against us, they encouraged us, they invited us to take some long early twos, really set the tone and got us into trouble. So tonight, can we pass up some difficult shots, play later in the shot clock at times when we need to get a higher percentage? It's all about, are we getting efficient shots? And then I think we'll be more efficient making them.
Coach, you kind of alluded to this earlier, but for someone who likes watching film as much as you, what's the challenge when you're probably going to be going up against some high player groupings that you've never seen before?
You respect everybody in this league. They're all in this league for a reason, and they're great. And again, the challenge is it's easy to roll out there and be the underdog. As difficult it is to play Vegas, you're the underdog. What do you have to lose? Let's go, swing. We haven't been in a position where you would think we are favored in a while. And while we're the hottest team in the league and have a 4-game winning streak, most people will pick us as the favorite tonight. Can you maturely handle that? Can you stay focused? Can you have the energy and effort when you're the favorite and not just the underdog? So big challenges for us tonight. See how much growth we have in that area, that we step up each and every night. Doesn't matter over the course of the season if these rosters played against each other. It's just who's better tonight for the 2 hours that we're going to play.
What do you tell your team, just in terms of knowing how a particular person may play, a particular player plays? How do you tell your team to kind of stick in between the lines and not worry about the kind of extra stuff?
Yeah, we got to remind our team tonight it's going to be really physical. With Mariah and Suge on the floor a lot tonight at the same time, they're going to be 94 feet pressure. At times, our catches to post players, both on the perimeter and inside, are going to be even more difficult because Bree Turner's an elite defender in this league, and now you have Michaela playing as an undersized 4 with that athleticism and physicality. They're going to switch more. And, when I was in Connecticut, always gave Sophie Cunningham credit. She guarded AT as well as anyone that AT went against. So we respect their physicality. We respect their ball pressure with the lineups that we're going to see tonight. And so that's been big. Can we keep our turnovers under control? We've got an improvement area coming out of the Vegas game in that. Their physicality sped us up. You got to believe that that's the blueprint for Phoenix. They're going to try to speed us up with their ball pressure and physicality, how we handle that. You mentioned particular people all year have tried to be real physical with Azura, and her growth and execution through the physicality is always important for her. Thanks, guys.
We are back for more LA Sparks Weekly pregame show as the Sparks will be matching up against the Phoenix Mercury. We just heard from Coach. Coach is like, hey, now we got the target on our back.
That's
We've been
right.
the underdogs for most of the year. Now we have the target on our back. What are you guys' thoughts on this with the team having the target on their back? No DT, no BG. What's your thoughts, DJ?
I think Coach is absolutely right. We need to make sure that we're executing, we're playing really good transition defense, and we're doing all the things right, because we could let one slip away because we're not the favorite team.
Right. Hopefully, like I said earlier, I'm going to bet everything I got. There's no reason why they should lose. no reason. This is a must-win type of game right now. With only about 7 games remaining in the regular season, they gotta win this game. They just had to. Especially, they gotta travel tomorrow. They gotta play Atlanta on Friday night in Atlanta. So that game is definitely gonna be tough as well.
Yep.
And it's going to be about the ladies stepping up. They've been playing some great defense these last few games, so I'm very excited. What you have for us, DJ?
I was saying during the press conference, we got a chance to talk to Zaya and Layshia, and they talked a lot about their three-point and field goal strategy. So let's kick it over to the press conference to hear a little bit more about what they had to say.
Might as well.
Allie, let's start with you. Layshia, I'll start with you just from your experience
We need to use this. No.
in the league and playing in a stretch like you guys are in right now. The biggest key to kind of being able to remain even keel and sustain it.
It's just not getting too high and low. I mean, statistically, we're probably not going to win out the entire rest of the year, win every single game. So it's when we do have those tough stretches in a game, when we do get down, or, unfortunately, when we do probably lose one game in the future, not letting that crash all of momentum. So it's kind of that, not getting too high, too low, and then just respect for your opponents. Anyone can be anyone any given night, and so we don't take for granted having BG and Diana out and stepping onto the court like, oh, this is already a win.
With that said, what changes with them? Obviously, with the two of them out. Coach talking about how they still have other strengths.
Yeah, they're faster. They're a little more athletic and versatile. They're not probably going to slow the ball down as much because when you punch to BG, a lot of times you're slowing the ball down, getting it to her. So now they can switch a lot more. They can play, I think, a little more fun and free. They've got nothing to lose. You're kind of the role player. So I've been in that position before where you're like, F it. We're supposed to lose. They're supposed to beat us. So they just get to play fun and free. So we got to bring the fight.
Oh, go ahead.
So both of you two are great three-point shooters for the team. In terms of three-point shooting tonight, what is something that we can look forward to against this team?
For us offensively?
Yeah, offensively. What's the plan for three-point shooting?
Make all the shots. Make every single one.
As many as possible?
Absolutely.
All
No
right.
misses. Just when they help, make their next right pass, the next right read. If they're in the nail help, if they're rotating, it's always just making the right read, the simple play.
Gotcha.
Zaya, the last couple games have been a nice little upswing for you again. What do you feel like you've been able to improve upon, in this winning stretch?
I think just letting the game come to me, finding my shots. Like I said before, after me and Curt had a good conversation, I kind of understood my role a little more, and I just tried to execute it every time we step out on the floor.
Layshia, you scored 22 points in the last game. Are we going to continue to see this aggressiveness going forward?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to give it everything I got every game. That's what I do. Just bring, sometimes it's scoring, and sometimes it's some other things, but just playing with confidence, playing with some efficiency, just bringing what the team needs, whether that's cutting, rebounding, passing, defense. So we'll see tonight.
Like, sort of piggybacking off of the question about the three-point shot. Against Vegas, wasn't a high value of three-pointers as a team, but very efficient from the three-point line. How calculated was that, and what does that say about the way the offense is flowing or moving for you?
I think it was clear from Vegas' scouting report they weren't going to give us one more threes, particularly. I remember the first half was being like, dang, I haven't got one open shot at the three-point line. So I think they were going to make us come off of ball screens, score one-on-one, get to the rim. And so I think it speaks to our team's versatility, being able to not get, Karlie, myself, Zaya, wide open three-point shots we can knock down, but the ability to take what the defense gives you and still be efficient and still score. I know we're a really good paint scoring team, so we'll take the balanced efficiency from the three-point night any given night.
Zaya, through the season, there have been little markers, you've had for yourself. After this, what's the next challenge for you now? What have you challenged yourself now as you've kind of gone into this new thing, off the Curt, and kind of understanding your role more? How are you challenging yourself now?
I'm just challenging myself to stay locked in. It's been a lot of highs and lows, and I want to figure out a way to just keep myself maintaining at the same pace, and being able to produce for the team at the same rate instead of it being so up and down. But also, I just think of it like it's my rookie year, and it's going to come with that. This is my process, and I've accepted that. So I'm just rolling with the punches and just trying to do whatever I can.
And then on a personal level,
Yeah, I think that was probably the hardest part about transitioning. Not because even in high school, I really didn't lose that much. So I had a lot of transitioning for as far as that when it comes to losing. But we lost, but it didn't really feel like it because of the energy we brought with each other. Like every time after a game we lost, we always had positive things to say. It was never negative. So that always kept me motivated and kept me going. And also I know that this is a building year for us, and it's not going to be perfect. But as long as at the end of this we're winning, that's all I care about.
Anybody else? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So we are back. We just heard from Layshia, heard from Zaya. They're ready to go. They realize how important this game is. Like you said, they talked about three-point shooting. So it's going to be a game that we're all expecting the Sparks to win. So before we get out of here and make our predictions, we got to know who's going to be your player of the game, DJ.
Layshia. Hands down, Layshia was the only player that talked about offense, defense, rebounding. She talked about everything. I think she's going to be our all-star tonight. What about you?
Okay. I think Layshia's the most important player right now. She's helping this engine go. But I think tonight, Jordan Canada is going to be in her bag. She is going to go out and score 15-plus along with 6 to 8 assists. So it's going to be some great, great things coming. Who you got?
Well, when isn't she in her bag, you know? When isn't she doing that? But I'm going to go ahead and go with Azura Stevens. Okay. I did get a chance to talk to Azura Stevens yesterday after practice. She talked about the mentality of the team right now, how focused they are. And I told her, what makes you so much of a great shooter nowadays? She was like, you know what? Shooters will shoot. And that's exactly what she's going to go ahead and take care of business tonight. So I'm going with
So we all clearly have the Sparks taking care of business. So many players are going to ball out. Do not let us down, LA Sparks,
hey,
because
real quick,
you need it.
One of you two show me your 1-2 step. Come on, one of you two. There it is. Hey.
And I got a polo on today, y'all.
So make sure y'all be on the lookout for the 1-2 step for the whole game for the LA Sparks, as we hope, and I believe they will take care of business tonight.
Yep.
LA Sparks Weekly, we'll be back post-game, baby.
Yeah.
We out of here.
Profanity Nation. A podcast for the fans, by the fans. Dive deep into the topics the other shows miss. Raw and uncensored.
And he's going to play team ball. His legacy is at stake.
Rare, hard-hitting interviews with players, coaches, and you, the super fans.
I'm not hating. I'm like, okay, cool. Good.
3 championships in 5 years. He's more than good, bro.
Profanity Nation. Listen live or subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Powered by Jesse Brown of Keller Williams.
And we're back here live from the Galen Center here at USC with your LA Sparks Weekly postgame show. After the LA Sparks dominated the night here, 91-62 over the Phoenix Mercury. Azura Stevens led the team with 20 points tonight. What an impressive win, but we also got DJ Michael right here. Yep. Man, what a game it was. I told you, I'm going to bet everything I had that they were going to get this win.
We all said they was going to win. Right. I don't think in a perfect world they could have.
But 29 points?
20.
That was. I thought it was gonna be like 10 to 15 or so.
The Mercury was so short-handed.
Yep.
The Sparks.
No excuses, Michael. No excuses.
But it's basketball. You know, just like the Sparks, they lost 8 straight because they didn't have the players.
And we kept talking about how short they were.
Right.
The Mercury took an L because they were just short-handed. It's hard to beat a team that's on fire and playing great basketball on offense and defense like the Sparks. So that's why they get such a big-time victory. Azura is playing very good basketball, getting buckets. You get Zaya, Fredo, coming off the bench to give you 11 points. You know it's a good day when NECA has 7 points and you win by 29 points. What a game for the Sparks. You know, that's what they're supposed to do.
That's well deserving for her, though, because she deserves a break.
She does.
She plays too much.
I'd also like to point out that this is the 4th time that the Sparks have dropped the Phoenix Mercury. And the other times, Diana Taurasi and Brittany Griner were on the court. There was only one game where we lost to the Mercury, and it was by like 2 points.
Yeah.
So this was a sweep in my eyes, the way that I see it.
Yeah, shout out to Karlie. She had a career-high 15 points. She started off early, knocking down shots. It was just one of those games that, shall I say, it was an ass whooping for the LA Sparks against the Mercury. And they did what they're supposed to do, 5-game winning streak. Who would have thought? After
we would have thought.
8, I didn't think so.
We said this weeks ago. If y'all go back and rewind the footage.
I knew that would be better, but for them to be pulling off 5-game winning streaks, I was like, hey, they're going to become more competitive. but they're actually playing really good basketball.
And we couldn't have called them beating the Aces either. We didn't.
No, that was the off one. That was, I mean, I was in studio at the time by myself with Jeff, and we're just watching. I was like, is this really happening right now? Like,
I would have never thought
incredible.
it, but they're playing some great basketball. So should we take them to coach? Should we take them to coach?
Take them to coach.
We'll take you to coach post game as he talked about their big 91-62 victory over the Phoenix Mercury.
You know, I'll start tonight and say that's a nice home win for us. I've been involved in tons of games of my career when the opponent may have some marquee players out, and I've been on both sides of it. The team without marquee players, team with that's playing those kind of games, and they become trap games. So really proud of our team's focus, intensity, and our execution tonight. Our defense set the tone again, and they have in this stretch 4 straight quarters of under 20 points for them to keep them to 62. Again, I just thought while we had some slippage at times, I thought we were aggressive defensively, dictating and just making things as difficult as possible for them. Offensively, we shot so well tonight, 54% from the field, 59% from the arc. It was a low turnover game. So while at times, you know, I wanted even more execution and our timing and our spacing to be better, it was a really nice night offensively in terms of efficiency. Big night out of Azura. Really was good going to the basket, was physical, was aggressive around the rim and got us going. Karlie's career high tonight. You know, good to see, you know, her shoot the ball really well. And then proud because I've coached her all 8 years of my head coaching career at the pros that Jasmine Thomas went over 3,500 points tonight in her career. That's a huge number and just shows the kind of career that she has had in this league. And, you know, just proud of her, that her perseverance after an Iron Woman of this league, one of the few that had played without injuries, to just continue to keep battling back from her knee injury last year and played really well in her 9 points in her minutes tonight.
So, Coach, these last 5 games, like you talked about on the defensive end, the importance and the growth with the team. What has been the changes that you have, you know, implemented coaching-wise to help kind of maximize the effort defensively?
You know, certainly a consistent lineup, as I've shared, has really allowed us to flourish in this stretch. That's 6 games, maybe. Someone check me on that, but of the same starting lineup after 15 different starting lineups. So, you know, that's part of it. They're getting used to playing with each other. You know, all year long we were building this momentum and showing them our pillars and really self-scouting ourselves on what we were trying to accomplish. And they're seeing success now, and they're seeing it come together, and they're seeing how disruptive our style can be. And they're thinking, when we walk in to talk about the game plan each night game now, they're already thinking it too and almost trying to predict what the coaches are going to, you know, come up with the game plan. So it's been fun to watch. Again, it's what we're going to hang our hats. We're going to have some nights like this where we shoot it well, but most nights we're going to have to lean on our defense for success.
Yeah, Coach, 5 wins in a row, and now in possession the 8th seed. I know you like to just keep it on the game-to-game, but looking with just a handful of games left, what do you think the ceiling is for this team this year now that they're completely in control of, you know, the playoff fate? You know,
The ceiling for me is just to continue to get better. We're not going to talk about the playoffs. You know, the media can talk about that. Others, we're going to talk about the next game. This was the start of a tough stretch of 5 games in 9 days. We have to play Atlanta with no practice, just a shoot-around, and a really, really talented offensive team. So with an extra day of prep for us. So a tough challenge as we go to the East Coast, but we're going to focus on that game and that game alone and not get ahead of ourselves. But it's not easy to win 5 games in this league, no matter who you are. So really proud that we've put this string together.
Rico?
Coach, right here, Rico. Good win, Coach. A quick question on the personnel and your rotations down the stretch here. Can you give us a little insight as to Westbrook and how she's contributing and how you're using her and implementing her?
Yeah, Vina brings an athleticism, an explosiveness to our team, and she's a physical guard. It's interesting because we're low in numbers in the post, and she's jumped in and at times played the opponent's post, simulating other teams. So she's gotten some reps recently guarding post players, and we're like, wow, she's physical. She's a really physical guard. She's a natural wing, and that's where we're going to use her the most of the time. But in tonight, trying to rest as we enter this really tough stretch to keep NECA from having to come back in, get Azura out those last 3 minutes, and Karlie not having to go back in after banging her knee a little bit. You know, Vina gave us some minutes even at the 4 tonight. So love her physicality. She's fit in really well in our locker room. She's a really good teammate. So until we know the status of the 3 injured players, you know, she's going to continue to be with us.
And might she be able to continue with that spark and that igniter force of playing with other players now and getting more comfortable?
That's our hope. And she is good IQ-wise, basketball IQ, so she picks things up considering she hasn't practiced a ton with us.
DJ?
Hey, Coach, we got to talk to Zaya before the game, and she talked about a conversation that she had with you and finding out her role in the team and executing. Can you grade Zaya's performance tonight? We saw her play more minutes than usual, so can you just grade her performance?
Yeah, Zaya, you know, is a spark for us. That's what the goal is for her to come off and give us instant offense, you know, and then continue to keep improving against these great guards in this league defensively and compete and fight, and that's what we want to see. You saw what she's capable of tonight. She is capable three-point shooter. She can score at multiple levels. She gets herself to the foul line as well as most guards on our team. So, you know, we tend to run a lot of plays through her when she's in because she can be that spark offensively. You know, again, her minutes are going to vary at times, and it's kind of matchup based. It's kind of how she plays early, you know, what she earns. But we're excited about the spark that she can potentially give us offensively every night.
All right, Coach. Over this 5-game winning streak, you guys have played stifling defense. I'm curious, how have you seen the team grow over this 5-game winning streak, and what more would you like to see from the team?
You know, I think there's a confidence in playing together now that we're finding rotations and we're finding a consistent starting lineup. And I think they're enjoying our aggressive, dictating, disrupting style. And it's not easy to play for me if you don't want to prepare. And we watch tons of film. We probably watch the most film in the league. And it's monotonous. It's film every single day. I unapologetically watch film. And that's how we're going to prepare like crazy. And they're mastering that monotony. And that's always the challenge for my teams, master the monotony of film. And they're buying into it. They're learning. They're growing together. And now they're having success, and they're seeing it. And again, I tell you, they're excited about when we walk in there to talk about the game plan, because they're already thinking themselves, what's the game plan going to be? What are we going to do defensively? And when we come in with slightly different than maybe what they thought, then they make suggestion. So it's a good banter right now in our locker room coming up with defensive game plans.
Fredo?
Hey, Coach, Fredo here, Infanity TV. You know, a few weeks ago, you were on an 8-game losing streak. Now, weeks later, you're on a 5-game losing streak. The team kind of turned it around at the perfect time that you wanted it to be right now. What does the team really need to do moving forward right now to kind of maintain the same momentum they have right now to finish the season strong?
Yeah, I think the challenge is the upper teams in the standings on can we compete like we did with Vegas each and every night. You know, during that losing streak, we were without our 2 starting wings in Lexi Brown and Layshia. Having just Layshia back again, I give her a ton of credit on what she changes for us. She changes our toughness, really basketball smart, She's really talented at the defensive end. It gives us another facilitator. So I can't tell you how important it is to have one of the starting wings back. It's really helped us, and that now consistent starting lineup. I'm coming.
Half court shot. I know it didn't count. How do you feel like that kind of gave team confidence to pick that off?
Yeah, again, no one made our half-court shot today before our game, so it was good to see it go in. But we're working more and more gradually at special situations and just having them have awareness of time and score and trying to get that up before the clock. It's just growth for us. It's an area that we can continue to get better. Those are going to be important down the stretch at the end of quarters, at the end of close games. Our special situations, when you're together longer, are just going to continue to grow. Thank you.
Thank you. Get them out of here.
We are back, Sparks Weekly post-game show, LA Sparks Weekly. We just heard from Coach, and he talked about, of course, defense has been big because that's been the difference for them. But there's something that stands out to you, DJ, and that's the efficiency. Let's talk about it.
Efficiency and execution. Coach Curt Miller talked about how efficient the team needed to shoot, needing to pick better shots, and they executed that way over and plus more. Even when the bench players came in, we continued to pick great shots, to play well, and play all the way through the end, and that's how we got this blowout victory. We could have gave up. At halftime, we could have gave up and gave the game away, but they kept that 15-point lead.
So, Fredo, I want to talk to you about the defensive end. What have you seen from this team that has made a difference for them, especially during this 5-game winning streak?
I mean, you got to look at Jordan Canada. She always seems to guard the best player on the opposite team, and as well as Azura Stevens blocking shots. Today, she blocked 3 shots down there below, even though it seemed like she was the biggest one out there. And I believe even who was it that was in the conference with us? Who was it? It was Azura and Karlie. Karlie was like, we're just trying to feed her the ball on the offensive end. And it seemed like they were just letting her get involved. But the defensive side of the ball, of course, rotation. That has been key over the last 5 games. The way they rotate on the ball, off the ball, you see NECA, you see everyone's communicated. And that's a key thing. You always got to communicate on the defensive side of the ball and offensive side of the ball, but that's one thing they've been doing pretty good over the last few games.
And defense has been key, and the girls know it. They watch a bunch of tape to be prepared for every game.
That's right.
So let's hear from Azura and Karlie about today's performance.
Karlie, career high today, 15 points. How did you feel going into the game?
I think we felt confident. We were on a streak. We didn't want to take Phoenix lightly. Every team is good in this league. It's nice when your first shot goes in.
So these past 5 wins for you guys, you can tell, defensively, the growth that you guys are showing, especially with the return of Layshia. What things are you guys doing? Like Coach just talked about, you guys are really watching a lot of tape. What are the differences that you guys see defensively that kind of help you guys propel to where you are right now?
I think we just found our identity. We're trapping a lot, and that's working for us, and it makes us aggressive. So I think we've started these last 5 games trapping at least one player on the other team, and it's nice to find our identity through that.
And then with a game like today, such a big win, you always learn lessons in the close games, whether win or loss. In a game like today, is there any lessons that you take away from this, blowout victory?
I think it's just seeing people scoring in their spots and seeing a feel-good game offensively. You know what I mean? See different people score different ways.
Thank you.
Excuse me, this is for both of you. Today, Kobe Bryant would have turned 45. Can you tell me what his impact has been on your game?
A lot, but I think just the Mamba mentality, approaching every game and every day, really every day, with a champion mindset. And I think he just inspired so many people.
Yeah, just the love of the game and how he thought the game and respected the game. So his mentality.
Amanda?
Guys got at least about 3 24-second violations in the first half.
You. I got blocked.
Yeah, I mean, we watch a lot of film, so we're really prepared for every game, and I think we're just seeing the fruits of that now. And you know, we want to win, and it takes defense to win. Like we know we have to score, but we know we have to also defend the other team, and I think we really just key in on that a lot, and it's been working in our favor.
Last question on Zoom.
This is Ralph Equinata, but that's for some. I got a question for Azura Stevens. Like, what are your overall impressions about yourself as far as being able to carry this team to this victory going to the very next, and the overall mindset going to the next game against the Atlanta Dream?
I guess just leading by example. I said this a little bit earlier. Like when I signed here, I really believed in what the organization had to say about us winning and making it to playoffs. And now that we're in that position, it's really amazing. And I mean, I think tonight I just led by the way I played, but I'm really proud of this team and all that we've battled through, and excited for the next games to come.
We were saying feed her the ball.
Appreciate the insight. Good luck in the next game.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
We are back, LA Sparks Weekly, the post-game show. We just heard from Azura and Karlie. You know, they're excited about their win. They had to rush out of there because they got to get ready for Atlanta. But before we take you to Atlanta and talk about the matchup with the Dream on Friday night, let's talk about our players of the game. We're going to start with you, DJ Tracy Treese. Who's your player of the game?
My player of the game is Azura Stevens. Shouts out to Azura Z Stevens. She just followed me on Instagram, but that's not why you my player of the game, girl. I can definitely say you balled tonight. On the defensive, offensive, in transition, there was nothing that Azura didn't do. So Azura is my player of the game. What about you, Fredo?
You got Fredo.
I mean, Azura was the one I picked at the beginning of the
know.
game.
Yeah.
I knew that she was going to come into this game and just be aggressive. She put up 20 points, 9 rebounds, short by 1 rebound for a double-double for Azura. She did shoot 0 for 2 from the three-point line, but she shot efficient overall, 9 for 14 from the field. So that was a very good thing for Azura Stevens, but that is my player of the game.
Okay, for me, I'm going to go with the player who got her career high. It's Karlie Samuelson.
Woo!
We just heard from her.
How's it go?
She's knocking down. She got the little jump
Hey, man,
shot.
making it rain, though.
And I've had my doubts throughout the year with her because, you know, I don't feel that she's the most athletic player, but we know that she's a dead-eye shooter.
Yes.
And she just finds a way to make it happen. Like, she plays hard. On the day that we celebrate the late greats, life, Kobe Bryant, she's somebody who plays with Mamba mentality.
Absolutely.
Because she don't have all of the ability like some of the other girls, and she just comes out and hoops, and that's why she's on this team, and that's why she was able to score a career high 15 points. So they have the Atlanta Dream Friday, a team that's in front of them in the standings. How do we feel about this matchup? Because they beat them the last time they saw them, but the other 2 times, Ryan Howard was able to, you know, take advantage of them. But I think, isn't that how the winning streak started?
Right. Yes,
with Atlanta?
against Atlanta,
so
yes.
What's our thoughts on the game Friday night, this time in Atlanta?
I think there are multiple things we need to look out for in Atlanta, and that's Ryan Howard, like we needed to before, but also Layshia Gray. We didn't talk about her much. She did not get hot in crypto. So at home in College Park, I think we need to look out for that shooting. She got them little goggles. She got that dead-eye shot, too. I'm thinking Layshia is going to go off in this Atlanta game, and we need to really play that defense and do that trapping that we've been doing.
What are you looking out for?
I think the leader that got to go out there and be outstanding has to be Nneka Ogwumike. She had an off night tonight. She can put her feet up in the airplane tonight, rest her behind over there. But as soon as she gets to on Friday night in Atlanta, she got to go ahead and perform. She got to go ahead and go out there. And, again, I thought she was going to get it tonight.
Yeah.
She's 1 double-double short of 100.
I would save it.
I thought she was going to hit it tonight, but she most likely is going to hit it in Atlanta on Friday night.
And I think that, you know, it's going to be up to, I think, Jordan and Layshia to have big games because this is going to be a very offensive game against the Atlanta Dream because that's what they bring to the table. But I'm excited for it. I know that you guys are excited for it as well. I cannot wait for this matchup. The Sparks are shooting up the standings. Let's see how far they can go and go for number 6.
Woo!
6 straight games. But we thank
making
you guys so much for tuning in. Infanity TV, baby. You know who we are. LA Sparks Weekly. We will catch you guys Friday. We're going to be in studio, baby. I can't wait.
Yeah,
Hey, we
buddy.
are out of here, man. You guys have a good night.
We out.
Profanity Nation. A podcast for the fans, by the fans. Dive deep into the topics the other shows miss. Raw and uncensored.
And he's going to play team ball. His legacy is at stake.
Rare, hard-hitting interviews with players, coaches, and you, the super fans.
I'm not hating. I'm like, okay, cool. Good.
3 championships in 5 years. He's more than good, bro.
Profanity Nation. Listen live or subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Powered by Jesse Brown of Keller Williams.